Hello and welcome to the flattening of rainbow fish. I'm on my cat's account today because he's the only one who has storage space in his house really, and I lost a bunch of footage of the beginning of this process, so we just kind of jump right into it. So the first thing that I did obviously was start picking everything up. This ended up not taking as long as I thought it would. I thought it would be a lot more time consuming, but it was only a fraction of the whole sort of flattening process with kind of getting everything up. The longest, most time consuming bits, as you'll see, are the actual terraforming and the flowers. Of course, the thing that made this process so much faster than it would have if I had done it, say, 2 months ago, is the Mario pipes. They're such a game changer, I feel like, for something like this. I could just place them down in the section I was working and be transported right to my house and put stuff immediately into storage, which was so nice. It becomes more of a problem later once I get to the flower garden, but it's so frustrating to be trying to pick these items up and just continuously plucking flowers, especially when pocket space is such a hot commodity, and I'm trying to get, the most out of every trip to storage. I didn't know how much to include of all these processes, like the picking up the items, and when I terraform and do the flowers. I ended up just cutting a bunch of it because I was like speeding it up so much it was making me dizzy, and I was like, this is just hours and hours of me doing the same thing. Basically, it can't be interesting to anybody else because it's definitely not interesting to me. So it's kind of shown just hours and hours of work condensed into very few minutes. But I ended up plucking so many flowers here. I had to get a trash can out because the plucked flowers are just filling my pockets. Then I started on the neighborhood, just pulling everything down, and I had actually previously started taking some items down and just dropping them on the beach, which you'll see in a second, because I wanted to start flattening, but I wasn't ready to start recording, so I just wanted to get some stuff done ahead of time. So this is what this is that I had already pulled down a bunch of stuff from like the pink beach. Then unfortunately my storage was full, so the only solution had to come bail my cat out. So I pulled a bunch of money out so that I could pay off the house on the cat's account and expand the storage. So paid off the loan, expanded the storage. Meanwhile, I switched to my brother's account just to pick up the last of those simple panels and the shrubs behind resident services. Then I got ready to start moving the buildings. So I moved the shop, the tailors, the museum. While I was doing that, I discovered all these items I forgot I had left on this beach. Whoops. Then Clay asked me to deliver something to Tangy, which I almost never do, as you can hear my reaction here. What'd you get? Ruby tunic, absolutely not. See you, Clay. Then back to a new day with the kitty, so I have expanded storage. I can go pick up all this stuff on the beach that I forgot about before. And then once I had done that, I placed the kitty's house. Beach space ended up being such an issue for me. I started moving villager houses, and I ended up having to put 4 on the grass down in the bottom left corner because all of my beach is like too narrow for houses. Then I started the super long process of flowers. It took hours and hours. I did not record most of it. because I knew it would just get so repetitive. I started out and I was going to save some of each color, and then I realized it was probably just a waste of time and space, and I would just probably run out of beach space if I saved white, yellow, and red. So I ended up just saving the hybrids and the lilies of the valley. It was really hard for me to throw all these flowers away because obviously it took a long time to get them all, and I didn't keep all the hybrids. I just kept like a chunk of each color, so I threw away a ton of really pretty flowers, and it made me sad, honestly. There was a long time when hybrids was what I was focused on. It was all I did in the game, so it was a ton of time and effort that, you know, just got trashed. But there just wasn't enough space, and I knew that, and I know that I can grow them all again. It just felt like such a shame to throw them all away. And even though it was daytime in the game, I was actually doing this really late at night, so I didn't really have the patience to find people who wanted me to give them like pocketfuls of flowers and go through all of the airport and dodo codes and all that stuff to give them. So I wish I could have given them to people who wanted them, but I just honestly didn't have the patience, or I mean, I had the time, but I didn't want to use the time for that. Is when I got to purples, and purple is my favorite color, and I love the purple tulips and mums so much, and then also the purple windflowers are what you use to make the flower stands that are really pretty. So I didn't want to get rid of many, if any, of the purple windflowers, so was trying to be really thorough with the purples. I think I probably saved more purples than anything. I also didn't trash any lilies of the valley because I didn't want to lose those. They look really nice in pretty much any situation, I feel like, so I'm pretty sure I kept all of those. Then I took down everything on this little spot behind resident services, and I actually ended up just going ahead and starting to take that down just while I was at it, since it was such a small area. At some point I destroyed my rocks, which I kind of did very clumsily, but I felt like it was one of those things I had to record. So time consuming to make a rock garden, I feel like it's pretty monumental to destroy it. Here is my last flower. And then I did a little run around the island with all the flowers gone before I started the de-terraforming process. So it was a new rainy day, perfect for de-terraforming, which is what I've been calling it. It was probably totally unnecessary to take everything all the way down to the ground, especially when I know I'm gonna have like the back of my island built up to the 3rd level again, but I just really wanted a completely flat island to run around. It's so annoying. You can see there when you accidentally like build up a piece when you're trying to destroy. Then Marshall asked me to do a treasure hunt, and it was the fastest treasure hunt ever. Because he hid it right next to resident services. So I caught sight of it the second I left him, and there you go. It took me 9 seconds. but it ended up being his photo, which was cute. I already have one, but that's the first duplicate photo I've ever gotten. That tarantula model scared me. Don't remember putting that back there either. This is me just getting a little fancy with my twirlies. And this was the very last of the neighborhood. This was my little tool deck behind my house. This is my little secret garden area. I was just checking the map to see what was left, and there were actually 2 spots where rocks had spawned, so I had skipped them when I was taking down the neighborhood. So I ate the only 2 fruits on my island and went and destroyed these last 2 rocks so that I could tear down these last 2 little cliffs. And there it was, the very last cliff. All done. Marshall could not care less. So that's the flattening. We're totally flat now, which I realize in hindsight I'm now totally flat for Bunny Day and cherry blossom season, which is unfortunate. But I'm very proud, very time consuming. I'm glad it's over. And now I can get excited about all the new things that are going to be happening on Rainbow Fish 2.0. So hopefully I'll have more videos coming soon. And until then, see you later.